I'm looking her up.
No. You better be ready to
Christian
repent.
I don't care. I'm looking it up.
I'm 24 years old. In my mind, I'm like invincible. I just can't die, basically.
I mean, you guys have seen it. The journey's been pretty wild, and it's getting even more wild.
You filed for an extension?
And I filed for an extension. I declared bankruptcy.
We might not like it. In the past, we haven't liked it.
What topic did I bring up that you didn't like?
All of them.
I'll make sure not
there's
to
a lot.
bring up.
Lord of the Rings.
He's like, a list.
Rhinos.
Holy crap, like, we're mortal. We're going to die. What's next? Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Campfire Council Podcast. My name is Luke, and with us on the council, we have Joey.
Good afternoon.
Emilio-san, and we have Brandon. What
Hello.
is going on, everyone?
Brandon's here.
Yeah,
That's new.
We got Brandon back.
Yeah, look at
It's
him.
not new. I was just on like, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Yeah.
All right.
What is new is we're recording on a Saturday morning, usually That is compared new. to
True.
a Friday night. That is true. So
How does
it's
everyone
nice.
feel about that?
I like it.
I also like it.
Well,
Milos is terrible.
I don't feel bad about having a monster because it's not late at all.
True.
I was up So- at 2 a.m., so I'm not feeling great.
Why were
Weren't
up
you
at 2
playing
a.m.?
Marvel Rivals at
like
like playing Rivals,
3?
dude. Here's the thing. I
Who's
woke
your-
up at
Who's
2.
your go-to though?
Tried to fall back asleep. Body wouldn't let me. 3 o'clock, I'm like, dude, I got to grind it out. So I did for a couple hours.
Nice.
Well, who's your go-to character?
Don't judge me for this.
I
You won't know
already
who it is, but maybe, viewers
probably
will. It's
Black Cat.
Scarlet Witch. No.
Oh,
I know Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Who's the shark
ridiculous.
guy?
They're
what's his name?
becoming such goons, dude. This game is just ridiculous, dude. But to be fair, that's kind of like what the comics are like.
I'm looking her
so-
up.
No. You better be ready
Christian
to
podcast.
repent.
I don't care. I'm looking it up.
She's
a
Scarlet
cool
Witch.
character.
I'm so terrible at aim. I'm absolutely.
Why'd you say you wouldn't know who that is? Wouldn't Joey know who Scarlet Witch is?
I have no idea who Scarlet Witch is.
No, in the game. Actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he
Rivals?
doesn't
He actually
know,
doesn't, so it's perfect
yeah, you're
either way.
I
right.
have no idea who that is.
She's a character that you just have to aim close to somebody, and then it
What's
does
wrong
kind
with
of
her?
like continuous
Yeah.
damage to her.
There's nothing wrong with
She's
her.
got like a burst fire too, but I'm
That's
trying.
That's not the character we were talking about. Put your phone away.
This is it?
I'm trying to
Lock
get.
it, lock
I'm
it.
trying to get
Okay,
good with
okay.
Spider-Man.
All right.
I told Milo this. I'm trying to get good with Spider-Man, but he his
He
character
just
is
flies
insane.
around, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah. I was
fun.
playing Hela, and then what's the 18?
What?
Hela
Hela.
is
Oh,
Thor's
like
sister,
Sister. Thor's sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Bro, come
the
on.
goddess Come of on, dude. death.
I thought you meant like, I was playing a lot. You know, people
Oh,
saying
okay.
hella for a lot. I was
And then-
playing
oh,
hella Rivals.
And then you laughed at me?
yeah.
All right. Well, I was playing Hela, and then it was like the 18-8 like annihilation mode.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
dude, those were so chaotic.
And I would just all of a sudden die, and I was like, how did I just die? And then I started to notice there was just this red flash that just like went across my screen.
yeah,
And I think it was Black Panther or somebody.
oh dude,
But it was
Or
one of those
Spider-Man.
really fast. It wasn't Spider-Man.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was somebody else. Because I can see Spider-Man, but this guy was just like, zoom, and then I'm
Dude,
just dead.
if you see like really good Black Panther players,
Yeah.
you're like, what is going on
I
their
think it was
screen?
Black
Because
Panther,
they dash and then
Yeah,
they
they
turn
turn
and
around.
they dash again, and you can keep
They
recharging
must
your
have their
dash.
sense on their mouse or
Yeah.
their controller just insane.
Yeah,
So they just
it just and then you're dead.
yeah.
You're like, whoa,
I
whoa.
did not know what was going on for like a solid 2 deaths right there.
I just imagine Milo in the back is hella like,
yeah.
and then Black Panther just jumps her and jumps him.
Yeah, I had no idea that I was even being attacked.
yeah, he'll get you.
We got Emilio into Star Wars Battlefront 2 though.
Yep.
The past
Oh,
couple weeks,
yeah.
Wes,
it's
him and I
going
played
great.
last night. We were going hard. It's so much fun.
I'm so
dude.
good.
Yeah. Emilo's he's been getting
Hey,
better.
Your KDO, whatever ratio is not
It's
negative.
It's under 1 though.
well.
I'm dying way more than I'm getting kills.
Oh,
It's
That'll
fun,
happen.
though.
oh, that's not what they said. Okay.
Thanks for tuning into the Campfire Council Podcast. My name is Miranda, creator and designer of Sown in Strength. I am passionate about witness and evangelism. There is nothing more important than knowing Christ our Lord and Savior and making him known, the Great Commission. I aim to inspire Christians to confidently and effectively wear and share their faith. Go check out sownandstrength.com or Sown in Strength on Instagram You can see all the current offerings of clothing and accessories, as well as blog posts that will encourage you in your walk with Christ. Don't forget to use code CAMPFIRE in all caps for 20% off. Now let's get back to the episode.
What we're going to do today is we were invited last week, Tuesday, to Life Church to speak in front of students going from ministry, which was really cool. So I just wanted to recap that really quick. What was your guys' experience with that? Because it was Emilio, Joey, myself, and Miranda. Do you guys have any thoughts or takeaways from doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of it I was like stumbling over my words, and
I don't think so.
I thought I was. I was like, in my brain, I think because it was like a classroom setting, it was kind of just like, it was pretty uncomfortable for me. And I think during that, I was just trying to find my words.
There was just one moment. There was just one moment where you kind of didn't know where you were going. And then I said, like, talk about Gabrielle.
Yeah, I just right.
Milo got in there.
Okay. I just like blacked out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what I'm saying.
But
anymore.
the rest of it, I thought you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were
cool.
doing really well.
All right.
Flowing perfectly.
Did you feel more comfortable for Camp Minneconne, or did you feel more comfortable for this one?
Maybe Camp Minneconne, because this one kind of felt like a teaching moment in a sense of like we were there to encourage them through our experience, and I don't know, that to me just was a little different. I don't know, awkward.
Do you feel like you were teaching?
It kind of felt like that in a sense because we were up there. There was a whiteboard behind us and everything, and it was like everyone's taking notes and stuff. And I was like,
that was different.
It was weird because we would say something, and then they're all like,
yeah.
Well, they probably. So Pastor Luke Kramer, who invited us,
Joey's like, don't write that down. Don't stop. No.
Who is our friend? I graduated with him, and we had him on the podcast. He invited us, and I'm sure he told the students because that's their class time. Like, hey, take some notes. We'll recap it like the next day or something. But I thought it was really cool. I mean, the first time we spoke at an event was Camp Minneconne, and that was all adults.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much.
For the most part, like they were all older couples at a retreat. And this one, they're all college students. So I think it was kind of cool to get people a little closer to our age and hopefully pour some wisdom into them. But I thought it was really cool. There was 4 of us, and I think we all had different approaches to sharing the background of like the podcast and just like encouraging. The whole point was to encourage sharing the gospel in a unique way. And I thought it was really cool. And they also asked some questions. Milo did some engaging questions he asked when he was talking. And at the end, we had a Q&A, which was really cool. And they were asking a decent amount of questions. So,
any questions in particular that kind of stood out? Or questions that you asked them that?
I think Luke's speech or lecture was kind of about the podcast and how we've used it as a way of sharing the gospel. And then Joey also, his was about that, but then also about his own personal experiences. I think both of yours were pretty similar, but you had your own unique takes on them as well. But I was actually a little bit concerned that mine would be too different because I was talking about apologetics, and I wanted.
It was great.
I wanted to give them like. I wanted to accomplish a couple things with mine because I talked to Noah ahead of time, and I'm like, Noah, you know this audience, right? How prepared do you think that they'll be for like talking with a skeptic or defending their worldview against somebody that's like a very smart atheist, right? And Noah was like, you know, a lot of these people, they're very good at sharing the gospel, and that's like what they're training for, but they're not going to be super prepared to defend in an apologetic way. So I'm like, okay, well then what I'd like to give them is like a little bit of a experience of what it's like to debate with somebody that's like a little bit more skeptical. And then 2, I want to give them an argument, like just one simple argument. So I chose the moral argument because it's very simple.
Classic.
Anyone can memorize it. It has intuitive appeal.
Yeah.
So in my talk, I kind of gave them the definition of apologetics. I gave them a little bit of my background and my life, why I got into apologetics, and then went into like Q&A style questions. I asked them, how would you answer this question? How do you know that God exists?
That one shook them. They're all like,
Yeah.
they're all of their faces are like, oh, like you could see them thinking. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep. Which to me is great. And
No, exactly.
And so then they would give an answer. So one of them, his name was Coulter. He gave an answer of his own personal experiences and how God had changed his life, which is a perfectly valid answer. That is the question that I was asking. It's like, how do you personally know that God exists? And then I think her name was Annalise.
Yes.
She was talking about like the complexity and intricacy of the universe, and that's why God must exist. And then there's another guy, Avon, I think his name was. I'm forgetting their names exactly, but he actually brought up the moral argument. But for each of them, I push back a little bit too. And I think that was good for them to experience like what that pushback is, because it's not always going to be like one level. You know, you're going to have to be able to defend your argument. So like Avon, I think his name was, he brought up the moral argument, and I asked him like, okay, well, how do you know that it's not just your own human nature or evolution that's causing you to have these desires to do what's good? You know, when you think of your conscience and like what you know the moral code is, how do you know that that's just not a evolutionary trait that was programmed into you? How do you know that that's actually telling you something that's real about the world?
Or societal influence.
Yeah. And I felt a little bad because I don't think he had an answer to that, but I said, don't worry about it. We'll go over it at the end. And so after I asked them some more questions, like what evidence do you have for God's existence? I think I asked some other questions, but I don't exactly remember.
I thought it was perfect the way that it's set up, because like you said, Joey and I had more of a background for the podcast, a little bit of personal experience and kind of how it's affected us and affected others.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it was really cool how you engaged more with the students, because you were like in your element. And then at the end, he got out the marker with the whiteboard, and he like wrote down a couple things and
pretty much the moral argument.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I just gave the moral argument,
and
premise 1, 2, and then the conclusion.
It was cool because like I think Joey and I were like talking to everyone in general, and then I saw 2 or 3 students really like perk up and really get interested when you're talking about apologetics.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, because Joey and I might not have been speaking into that area, and then when you started talking about that was really cool that those couple students really were engaged with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miranda showed up later after she got off work, and she gave more of like a brief summary just of her clothing brand, how the podcast has affected her. Mm-hmm. And I think it was really good to have the female presence there too, because there was like half the students were girls, half were guys. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was really cool. I'm really thankful and blessed that you guys were able to make it. We were able to do it, because having the different perspectives and things to share, I think hopefully each student could take something away.
Yeah.
And then, the students asked some good questions. Like one was, like one question really made me want to make sure I'm more prepared. Is like, how do you guys prepare for podcast episodes? Or like, do you guys always have some prepared? And I was like, no.
Sure we do.
Like sometimes we'll have stuff prepped and ready to go. Sometimes we just kind of wing it. And I was like, I need to be more prepared, pray about it more, and have things more set in line. And then they were asking questions about like,
how do that?
Was that?
Wait, the kid told you that?
No, I was saying I need to.
I was like, wow, that's bold.
No.
Yeah, he was
said,
telling Luke
you need
exactly
to-
what to do.
I printed the software.
Right.
He was like, how do you guys prep for like
Okay.
for,
All
like,
right.
topics?
All right.
And then
I was like, whoa,
they're asking questions like, how do you
kids going places.
share the gospel with like family members that don't know Christ, or
You stoned them.
how do you
I should have
like
said
how
that.
do you share
Funny.
the gospel like in your everyday life? Of it was really good questions that got me thinking. I know
Yeah.
for sure of
Yeah.
like reflecting on, okay, I'm saying these things like when you're passing someone by at the grocery store, like the same person checking you out every week, or when you come across that homeless man, or you are having conversations with your family that don't believe. It's like, am I staying surface level, or am I actually diving and do what I'm actually saying. So I think it was really cool how I took a lot away from it, because they're asking these questions that would help themselves, but it's also helping me and helping us too. Because it's like, okay, these are the things I'm saying, and these are things that I also need to do.
Right.
But
I think one thing that I really did love about it was like getting to watch Emilio teach, because, you know, he always has that example of him teaching his sister math and like getting her through that. And you've taught me some things for sure, but like to see you up there and do your thing and be passionate about apologetics and be engaging, like, dude, you were just made for that. Like, I know you're an engineer, but like that right there is like, I feel like that's your true calling, and whatever skill that looks like.
Yeah.
I was just talking about it with my mom, and we were just saying like who knows where that could lead, but
Yeah.
that, like, just to see you in your element and up there doing your thing was awesome.
Thank you.
It was so cool.
It was a lot of fun, and I was definitely uncomfortable at first. It's a lot easier doing this. So I'm not nervous at all. But then when you have people that's staring at you and you have to keep talking, it's a little bit different. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm going to continue praying about it. If there's more opportunities down the road, I'd love to have as many of us do stuff like that. I think it's a good challenge. And I'm happy that it was only like 12 students, I think.
Yeah.
12 or 15.
12 to
So it was like a
15,
nice, comfortable setting of, it wasn't overwhelming. And yeah, a really cool opportunity, a lot of fun. And I pray that the students took away something from it. I know I did.
For sure.
But do you guys have anything else off of?
No, I was just gonna maybe transition just to see a little check-in with our boy Brandon since he's here, just to see what God's doing in his life right now.
Yeah.
A little impromptu.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's right. I should have prepped for this.
Sorry.
How's God working in my life?
Yeah. What's something new you're learning?
I feel like last year, actually Milo had got us all the On Guard Apologetics book. And man, dude, like I was just like so obsessed with like apologetics and just like learning so much new information. And it's funny because you, me, and Austin and Brian, we actually watched a show together. I won't say which. And there's a scene when a character passes on into the next life. And all of a sudden, it had been a while since I've had one of these, but it's like I get this, I wouldn't call it a panic attack, but it's kind of like a, holy crap, like we're mortal, we're going to die.
Yeah.
What's next?
Existential
One of those kind of
crisis, perhaps.
I wouldn't say that, but it just kind of hit me. Like while we were watching that, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like it had been a while since one of those had happened. So after that, I kind of locked in and I was like, all right, I have to really like pour my heart into, God and the Bible and apologetics. I felt was a good one too.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to kind of hit a point where now that like motivation is starting to dip, and now what remains is discipline.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. It's tough because there are so many other things in my life that I want to focus on that are like more fun. And so I've just kind of been wrestling with God recently. Like on the way here, like I was listening to Romans and 1 Corinthians. So that was good. That's been a while since I've done that, but I think I'm just trying to navigate now, like the discipline aspect of just spending time with God. And I think I've like felt very convicted recently, and I think I'm slowly doing better and kind of coming back to that. And Christina's actually been a really good accountability partner. She's been like, let's go to coffee shops, like we can read together. And it's been really good that I have her to be able to like push me to do that. Cause then I'm like, okay, when I go to the coffee shop, like that was exactly what I was doing last year. Like this will pull me to kind of study this again.
Yeah.
But
We should do another. Do you remember we used to do like those quiet hours?
yeah,
We should do that again. Do you guys
Yeah.
like take 2 hours on like a Saturday morning,
yeah, that was nice.
read scripture and listen to worship music, be in prayer and meditation? Then we should meet up somewhere.
I think my biggest thing is just like, I feel sometimes at the beginning of my week, I just need to like plan things out and be like, okay, this day I'm going to give 2 hours to God, and it'll be my undivided attention. I'll turn off my phone. It'll just be like me with the Bible or an apologetics book or whatever. I feel like I feel that conviction of just like, I have to kind of set up my week. Otherwise, if I'm just going day by day, then I'm like, oh, well, I got to, do this. I got to go grocery shopping, laundry. I got to go work out, like all this stuff. And then it gets pushed back to the end of the day. And then I'm like, okay, I'll say a prayer and then I'm asleep. So I think I've just been, just kind of navigating that, because it's a bummer when that happens in life, when you feel like you were so zealous for God, and then you kind of hit a point where life just kind of like starts to mellow out. So, but it's, that's going to be a lifelong struggle of waves. And
do you find there's parallels between that and lifting?
Yeah, I guess so, because I've been like technically working out for like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've really only seriously worked out for like 1 year, it feels like. Like when I calculate about actually taking it serious, especially the past few months. And it just kind of like comes in waves.
Yeah.
And with working out right now, like I'm like on a high.
Nice.
And I feel like I know it's coming, especially once I have kids. That's going to be a weird one to navigate. Got another
Little
year
Brandon's
or so.
running
Yeah,
around.
I know, dude. I got another year or so before that happens, hopefully. But
Our cousins, Mark and Brian, they still work out a lot, and they have tons of kids.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say too many, but a lot.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's possible.
Yeah.
To keep
Yeah, of
working
course.
out.
It's all about making it a priority, both time with God and working out or health and all that. So,
But I just wanted to say real quick that realization for me that like your spiritual life is kind of similar to the physical training life was an encouragement to me, because it kind of helps explain like why you go through these waves.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, I've never stopped working out since I was like 8.
Yeah.
But I've also gone through the same thing where it's like I'll go like 6 months and I'm like really locked in.
Right.
And then like 2 years where I'm just going through the motions.
Right.
And maybe God does the same thing with us, because our minds are still human too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how God sanctifies us and changes us. Maybe sometimes for some people it's in the form of waves instead of just a straight linear progression.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think that God is a forgiving God, and I think he wants us to be zealous for him 24/7, but I think that he's fair and he understands that we get distracted. So
Yeah.
What do we tell people that might be in the shoes? Because like I've been there too when it comes to like my faith of feeling more on like the down low or not having that motivation. So like what do we want to say to people maybe that are struggling with that, or they find themselves a lot in that situation? Because I know it can be frustrating, it can be really difficult, but like what's something that maybe can give them like that spark that they need to kind of get them like out of that lull?
I don't know if there's, a spark, because I've kind of been waiting for something like that too. But I think just not continuing to put things to the side, like even though I've been kind of in a low, it's always something that I'm thinking about, like, God, I still love you. I still have faith in you. I'm just in a season of life right now where I just can't find the discipline to spend time with you. And so I think sometimes you do get a spark, like when we watched that show, and that was really good for me. But other times I think you just kind of have to work with God to pull yourself and have him pull you out of those lows. And you do have to be patient, but I think you should be stern at the same time with yourself and understand that, like, what is this life really about? Like, we're not meant to put God aside for tomorrow. Like, the day is near. So
Notice how what spurred you on to like take faith really seriously for that time was something that was really negative.
Yeah.
And like borderline traumatic.
Yeah.
And that's the case for me in my life too. So maybe like people shouldn't be ignoring God But maybe if you're in like a lull, maybe just be thankful that
Yeah,
you're
right.
not going through
Very
something
Right.
horrible, because that
Yeah.
God does use those dark times to
Mhm.
to grow you.
Yeah.
It's not always like a pleasurable, nice, happy thing.
Yeah, that reminds me of when Pastor
That's good
Marcus was on, and he was kind of telling us that a lot of times the conversations that he has with people that like spark them to think about faith is when he's at funerals.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
I think that that's really interesting because it's kind of a recheck of like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I'm gonna die someday, you know?
Yep.
And like I'm 24 years old. I'm like in my mind, I'm like invincible, you know, like I just can't die, basically. Like
But you can't die. That's crazy.
in my mind, dude, I'm like, I don't think about like I'm not like, oh, a disease is gonna get me or
Yeah.
like
No, of
I'm gonna
course.
crash. you
You're
know?
healthy. There's not
I'm healthy.
like,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. And so when those moments kind of hit where you're like, oh, just kidding, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think that's when you search because you realize that if you die and there's really nothing like afterwards to look forward to, then you're
Sure.
like, that was it.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll just fade from
Mhm.
anyone's memory.
Yeah. And one last thing I'll say about this topic too is one thing I try to work on is like being more honest with God, especially like in the lows. I think it's really easy to ignore, but if you could just be honest with God and be like, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm not really having it. I don't really feel you. I don't feel the motivation to be in the word or to even really care. I think that can be really helpful, just like expressing that to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe like God he's going to meet us where we're at, right? So if we're at that low, because it's easy when we have that motivation and we want to find him, we're seeking him. But I'm just trying to work on just being more honest, like, hey, I'm not feeling it. I don't really want to be doing this right now. And just kind of see what happens with that. But let's, you have a couple things to share for us, Joey, right? A couple updates.
I sure do. I got some stories.
Let's get into it.
So I'll start with the big one. So Jordan, my friend, joined me for Easter service over at Epicos Church. Awesome service. He talked a lot about, having a certain amount of certainty and reason, and then the amount of faith that requires or needs to be paired with that, for just understanding God and having that relationship with him. And that he talked about a lot about doubt too. And my buddy Jordan, I've known him for 8 years, so we've been friends for a very long time. And I've just been able to like sprinkle in things here and there in conversations, or he's seen me at my highs and at my lows, and he's just been around for a while. So something in there that really stood out to him in that service when they were talking about doubts, and he had always doubted the existence of God and just like doubted Christianity in general. But there was, just something in that sermon that really touched his heart and really made him reflect. And it was kind of a miracle that he even came, because I've known him for so long, and just now he decides to join me. And I think maybe because of that reason is that he moved out recently. So he now lives on his own. So he has a lot of time to think and reflect. And he's the type of person that is like a deep thinker anyways. He joined us for that service, and then, we went home after that, and he texted me like the next day. He's like, oh, I really, really enjoyed the service. And he's like, I definitely had I have a lot to think about. And he's like, I want to get to know who God is and whatnot. And that was like super encouraging to hear. And I was like, that's awesome. Right. And then a few days go by, and we meet up to go play disc golf, as we do.
As we do.
So yeah, we met up, and he's like, yeah, I've been really thinking about, that sermon on Sunday about my own doubts that I may have. And he's like, dude, I think I'm like ready to like commit to this. I was like, oh, really? And even on the way over, like I was praying. It's because it's about like a 35-minute drive from here to there. And I was just praying to God. I'm like, God, I feel like this is like Jordan's moment. Like I could kind of feel that. And I was like, please just give me the words to say and just prepare his heart for those words. And just be present. Right. and he and I got to the parking lot of the disc golf course, and I was like, well, like, do you want to pray about this? Because he was talking to me along the way, the drive in, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. And we just got to pray then and there, and I was like, well, if you confess with your mouth and believe it in your heart, like you will be saved. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we prayed there, and it was just a really cool moment, because I've never brought anyone to Christ, and just to be like a part of that process was really, really special. One, because I've known Jordan for so long, and like I've just been, planting those seeds for 8 years, and now here I am praying with him at a disc golf course we've gone to for years, and it just all happened very quickly, and I was like, all right, well, like now you're on board, you're on the team.
Come on, son.
And he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I think just there were just certain things that held him back, and it was just those doubts. And he was open to it, but he realized that maybe he wasn't really giving it a full chance. And when he really gave it that full chance to go to that sermon, it just like really hit him hard. And yeah, so that was just really, really special to be a part of someone coming to Christ. And like I said, that's the first time I've ever done that with somebody. I was like, holy cow. Like I didn't even know like kind of like what to say in a sense. But I mean, obviously the Holy Spirit was there giving me the words that I needed to say.
He gets in there and does his thing. So
yeah, exactly. And I think that's like this
is great.
Oh,
I just wanted to say this is just great to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
That you were a part of this.
It's crazy because
that God usually you like this.
8 years, man. And it makes me think about the people that are closest in my life, where it's like, I've known them longer and they don't know Christ, or they don't want anything to do with God. And if it takes 8 years for someone, it could take 16 years. It could take 30 years. But like, I think my encouragement to the listeners would be to like not give up on people, because, well, let me say it like this, but like, don't make people your project, right? Like there's only so much you can do as like, there's only so much evidence you can give. There's only so much words you can say. But like ultimately they have to choose God, and God can and will show up in their life. It's just a matter on his timing. So for those people that are in your guys' lives, like just don't give up on them. And I think pair that with prayer, and just don't give up, because you never know at what point. Because like I didn't think that Jordan was, I mean, I knew maybe at some point he would join me at like an event, or if we went on the men's retreat. I know I asked him last year, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe, like, because I kind of told him it's a bunch of guys stuff to do at this place, and it's just a good time to hang out with guys. But yeah, just don't give up on the people in your life, because if you just stay diligent and keep praying for those people, I mean, it paid off. And
100%.
It took 8 years to do it, but
and good for him too, that,
think about it.
There are a lot of doubts that we have as Christians, that we've been Christians for decades. It's we're basing our belief on the writings of people who lived 2,000 years ago, talking about things that we've never seen before, like people calming a storm, or feeding people with like a few loaves of bread and some fish, feeding thousands of people. Like, we don't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So there are like so many things that are questionable about what we believe. And so good for him for kind of understanding that faith aspect, that, if this is real, if there is a man who was God, then of course those things can happen.
Right.
That's kind of the conclusion.
I think where he struggled was he needed 100% certainty, and he didn't realize that he needed the faith to have that certainty, because I think he was so caught up on it needed to be 100% reason.
Right.
And it can't be 100% reason, as we know. Like these crazy stories you're talking about. We need to have faith in, like, let's say like it's like 25% faith. We need to have that faith in those stories, that those are true. But then also we can, look to history. We can look to intelligent design, if you will.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Don't bring it up.
You can't do that.
I will say though, the cool thing too is like I want to thank you guys as well for being on this journey. Is Jordan's been a listener for the podcast for a while.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
And just a reminder that God uses the podcast and like what we say to affect people in a positive way. And so just thank you for that. Thank you for like, doing that and sharing. I'm sure there's been stories and examples and things that we've shared that he's probably like helped him with his doubt or questions that he could kind of wrestle with. But it's really cool. Yeah. God can use our voices no matter how many times we mess up or say something stupid. We don't know who it's going to affect in a positive way. And it's like, it's not me, it's not us, it's all the Holy Spirit and God, which is really cool. So we don't know who's listening, who's going to take something away from it. And I pray that more people come to Christ, whether that's through listening to us or having conversations with, friends, being invited to church and all stuff like that. But also one thing too is being friends with Jordan I haven't been friends with quite as long, but for years, I'm sure it wasn't always the things that we said.
Yeah.
But probably the things that we did, I want to say. It probably maybe gave Jordan that push too. Because we would have conversations with him, and at least for me, they wouldn't be like super in-depth about faith. But I think also, are we actually like backing up the words we're saying when we would go hang out with him, disc golf, go on trips with him?
Yeah.
Like, are we just saying things and just completely being different people? Are we actually like loving and showing the love of Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think one example he pointed to was like 2024. He was I've referenced it before on the podcast of he was the friend that both of us were saying like, oh, this was gonna be our year, like this is our year, our year, like we're gonna do all these great things, and then like that was the year that like my anxiety was super bad, and like I really like just broke down, and I just went through a lot of different emotions and shared a lot of things with people that like I haven't shared before, and just really like it was like a raw time, just really like felt exposed, but a lot of growth was in there, and he got to see like my whole whole development and like process of going through being really anxious. Like I didn't even want to go to the grocery store at some point, and sometimes I still don't, but I've gotten certainly much better. But yeah, like I didn't even want to go to the grocery store. And then he's been able to see like my growth and who I've become today. And that journey has been, I mean, you guys have seen it, but the journey has been pretty wild, and it's getting even more wild, and I'm here for it, and I'm embracing it. And I'm just trying to,
it's a wild journey,
take every moment and glorify God in it the best I can, because I know it's like what you were talking about earlier. We're not always going to be on these ultimate highs, right? Like we're going to have moments in our life where we're confronted with real struggle and real problems in life. And it'll be nice to look back at these podcast episodes. They're almost kind of like journals to me, because I'll be able to see of where I was at before.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why don't I feel like that again? And that was kind of my encouragement to him was, to write stuff down of how you feel now and how you can use that to better your future self. Of like, he's going to be faced with something really challenging, and then he's going to be like, well, why can't I feel God anymore? Or why it doesn't feel like the same when I first started? And then he'll be able to like reference those two things.
I like it. Did you want to share? Didn't you have one more?
I sure do.
Let's hear it.
So it's tax season. Well, it's past tax season.
Tax season, yeah.
Yes, end of tax season.
Did you file for an extension?
And I filed for an extension. I declared bankruptcy. I have no money, so
declare bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
So this will be a perfect opportunity for me to any donations that you would like to send my way.
Yep, we'll put the Venmo.
Yes,
in the bio.
Right. GoFundMe. If someone would like to start a page, that'd be great. Milo, you're in charge of that.
I'll send you some Dogecoin.
Oh yeah, give me some coin. No. So yeah, tax season. Needed to go do my taxes. Luke and I actually go to the same tax expert over at H&R Block. So, booked the appointment, and I pulled up to there, and at the front desk there was this guy, just super, super, like, what's the word? Like energetic, and just, you could tell he was really happy to be there. And he just greeted me. He's like, "Oh, welcome to H&R Block. Like, do you have your files? I'm going to scan them for you." And then scan the W-2s. And then he's like, "Oh, we'll be right with you." And then I, met up with my tax expert, Eldon. Great guy.
Shout out Eldon. Shout
out to Eldon, of course.
Last name Ring.
It's not Ring. That's funny. But we were just talking, and I was telling him, I'm like, "Oh, you just saw my best friend. He was just in here, and he was the one with the podcast." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, the podcast guy." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were roommates." And I was like, Yep, we sure are." He's like, "Oh, we were kind of talking about some of the tax stuff before, but then he was asking about like the podcast." He's like, "Oh, well, what is that?" And then I kind of explained to him that like the 6 of us went on a camping trip. We started this podcast, and now it's kind of evolved to us interviewing people, but also having like deep discussions about different topics in the Bible or different chapters in the Bible, and just having it like a safe space for us to just be vulnerable and real, so that we can encourage other people to hopefully do the same and, get something out of it. And whether you're Christian or not, that doesn't matter to us. We're going to pick your brain while you're here, but you don't have to be a Christian to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just kind of telling him about it, but the guy at the front desk kind of overheard, and he's like, "Oh, I speak on the radio." He's like, "What do you guys talk about?" And then because he kind of overheard a little bit of it, but then I kind of I shared that with him, and he's like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like that sounds like a lot of fun, this and that." And then
probably trying to get an invite in the podcast.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but we were just continuing the taxes and whatnot, and we were just talking about like what the podcast does, and he's like, "Oh, that's really cool." My tax expert, Eldon, he's like, "Oh, that's really cool or like what you guys do to have like a safe space to talk about these sort of things." And he kind of kept hinting at it. Like, I was like, "Oh, this dude definitely believes." And then we got to talking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Lutheran. I'm an elder at this Lutheran church that I go to." And it was just really encouraging.
Elder
that like,
Eldon.
Yes, exactly. Elder Eldon. And it's just really encouraging to see like, just to be a light in any space that you can be. Like, I didn't know he was Christian. He didn't know I was Christian, but having that other guy just be able to overhear our conversation, because his desk was very close, of just being like, you never know in what scenario you're going to be confronted with somebody where you're going to have the opportunity to share the gospel. Like, I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to share the gospel with Eldon, but he was already a believer. But then I realized the guy that was sitting close to us, like, he's definitely listening on our conversation. So it was just really encouraging to just be bold, and to, just to get the name of Christ out there in whatever you do. It's like, you never know when a scenario or a situation is going to arise in life where you can share the love of Christ, and you can be that example. And it was just so funny how it happened while I was doing my taxes. Like, that's like
that picture you took was amazing.
It was so, I'm like, that was at like the end of it. I'm like, Dude, can we just get a picture? Like this whole time was really cool, because it's like, never in a million years would you think while you're doing your taxes, you're going to be sharing like the love of Christ and witnessing to people. And I was like, we got to get a picture together. And then at the end of it, I was like, I invited him on. I was like, "Hey, if
I'll throw up the picture on the screen.
Okay, please
send
do.
it to me, and
yeah, I will." I'm like, I would love to get you on the podcast sometime. Like, we could talk about like, what does it look like to be a Christian and be faithful in our taxes, and how to be smart with our finances. I think it could be a pretty cool conversation. So maybe one day we have Eldon on.
I'll say one thing too on that. So last year, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, he probably sees hundreds of faces every tax season.
Yeah.
But I think I had the chance to tell him about podcast, and then this year I did my own taxes for my business for the first time, and that was interesting.
Hey,
But he was so helpful with all the write-offs I could do.
he's really smart.
Yeah.
He's been doing
So-
that for like 16 years.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be better prepared for next year and have more things prepped for that. But I will say another cool thing I saw God show up was in finances a lot. Like, he's been providing left and right. Like 2 months ago, I was like looking at my bills. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for like rent this month. And I remembered I had money set aside from like 2 years ago for Christmas from my grandparents that I was able to use to pay the bills, which was awesome. And then hearing things about like small business, I was like, I'm probably going to have to pay money,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how much it's going to be for taxes. And then after I left with Eldon helping me, I was like shocked on like the return I was getting,
Nice.
which was like a huge blessing. It was like amazing because this is like another way like God showed up, he provided.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool, like trusting God, guys, because situations are going to suck and they're going to seem really difficult, which they can be, but God always provides your daily bread. It's not always what we want, but it's what we need. So just like another cool experience I had with kind of along with yours with like taxes, like God just turned something I was worried about into a huge blessing. And yeah, that was just really cool. But it's amazing to hear. I mean, kind of just like what we were talking about back to what we started with Life Church, the event about how do we witness to people on like an everyday scale,
Right.
like doing your taxes, someone checking out the grocery store, your coworkers.
Mhm.
But it's just like being open to having those conversations and just be bold to like ask that question or to say something, just something to get the conversation going, which I
Right.
think is awesome.
Yeah.
So, but that'd be a cool conversation to have him on. I think that'd
Yeah.
be
I
really
think
cool.
it would. I think that could be pretty neat. It'd be a
Uh,
full circle.
Mr. Brandon, you said you had a topic you wanted
yeah.
to bring up.
Yeah, I think you guys will like this one.
What we got?
You guys are gonna like this. So, I'd say about
We might not like it. In the past, we haven't liked it.
Yeah, what if
you'll
we don't
like it. Trust me, you'll like it. So, what topic did I bring up that you didn't like?
All of them.
I'll
There's
make sure not
there's
to
a
bring it
lot.
up.
We can Lord of the Rings.
He's like a list.
rhinos.
All right, well,
Right.
hold on.
Hot
So,
takes.
I think it was about like 3 weeks ago now. My wife and I, we went up to Madison and visited some of our friends, and we actually watched all 3 extended edition Lord of
Yes,
the Rings.
that's right.
That's amazing. In one day.
Dude. Yeah, that was a lot.
Full day.
It was like a 12-hour day. I have not stopped thinking about those movies since
See?
then for like
Come on,
3
son.
weeks. They're so good, dude. I genuinely
Yep.
like, I feel like I had to watch them back to back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like before what I was doing is I would watch a random one. Like a few years ago, which was the most recent time, I think I just watched Two Towers because I was building like a Barad-dûr like mini little
Yeah,
Lego
yep.
set.
Mhm.
And I just watched the second one. And maybe I got into a little bit of the third. But like, dude, oh my gosh. You watch them back to back, and
Yep.
I'm thinking about the age, like the year that these movies came out, and the fact
Yeah.
that they just filmed them all at once.
2001, 2, and 3, I think.
I was like,
So
dude,
crazy.
these are incredible. Like,
Yeah.
they're insane movies. And so it like
Yeah.
easily skyrocketed to like my favorite like trilogy of all time.
It
I always
is.
thought that like Star Wars was probably, but I was like,
Yeah.
all 3 are like 10 out of 10 movies, dude.
So you understand
Yes.
our reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
When
no.
you said that
so
Pirates
our
of the
visceral
Caribbean,
reaction.
yes,
you like
yes.
it more.
I think Pirates is maybe more rewatchable for me because
Yeah.
you can just watch one of them
Yes.
or the second one.
And I differ from these guys. I don't want to just watch Lord of the Rings every year because I don't
Yeah.
want to ever get sick of it.
Yeah.
So
These
Same.
two probably
I want to
gotta-
watch at least 2
Twice
times
a
every
year.
year.
Right.
Yes. Twice a year.
Yeah.
Christmas
I'm not
and
like
then
that. Like
fall.
I think
could-
we're kind of the same.
Pulp Fiction, I could watch that like twice a year.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
a good one.
I'm not gonna get any more out of it
Yeah.
I don't have an emotional reaction to it. It's just a fun.
Yeah.
I just like the movie.
Yeah.
It's just fun to
Yeah.
watch.
That's like Pirates for me. Like I could watch
Yeah.
Dead Man's Chest like multiple times a year.
right.
But there was one scene in particular that like has really been, I don't know, really been sitting with me that I thought was very interesting.
Let's hear it, baby.
It's like right at the end, pretty much. Sam and Frodo, they're at the mouth of Mount Doom, and Gollum's little sneak jumps them, and Sam and him are fighting, and then all of a sudden I think he like throws him down or something, and then he looks back and like Frodo's like gone. Like he's like, we're doing this right now. Like we've made it this far. We're at Mount Doom. Like we're doing this now. And so Sam, I think that, you know, Sam's like, okay, like I'm going to hold off Gollum or whatever. And so that fight continues. And then later, like Sam goes into Mount Doom and he sees that Frodo is standing like right there, like right in front of Mount Doom.
there.
And his
on the
back is
edge.
turned.
Yep.
And Sam's like, do it. Like throw it into the fire. Yeah, toss it into the fire.
Yep.
And Frodo, he's like looking back at Sam, and then he looks back and he's like holding the ring. And it's like this moment that he's just like taking in all of its like beauty and power.
Yep.
And he's like, the longer he looks at it, you can tell the more he's like losing himself
Right.
into the ring, until finally he gets to the point where he like turns back around. He's like, the ring is mine.
Yep.
And then Sam's like, no. And then, yep, he puts it on and he disappears, and Sam like screams. And like, that sat with me so much because I was like, dude, like that's sin. Like that's temptation, dude.
100%.
Like,
Yep.
like we fail time and time again to just like destroy the ring of our sin. Like whatever the sin may be, if it's addiction, if it's lust, if it's, you know, gluttony, I don't know, whatever sin it is, like we fail time and time again because we want it. It gives us so much like pleasure and it gives us so much power, it feels like, and we can't like destroy it. And we sometimes want to hold on to like a small piece of it. We don't want to get rid of the whole thing. Like, oh, you know, I'm trying to think of an example, but you know, maybe with like gluttony, like, oh, well, I'll only eat this amount, or maybe with drinking, like, oh, I'll only drink like this many times a month or whatever. And instead, if it's a problem for us and if it's a sin, like we don't just like destroy. We're like at the mouth of Mount Doom. We're right over it. And you're like, bro, just drop it in.
Play.
Dude,
It's just like, it was such a powerful scene to me. I was like, oh my God, dude, like that's just temptation. That's like, he let temptation overtake him and then he put on the ring.
Think about this too. It just got me thinking. Also, we still need to do a Lord of the Rings episode where we actually like dive deep into just like scenes like
I
that.
think it would be really good to do that. Yeah.
But I'm thinking about, they literally had the journey from the Shire all the way to the Mordor.
Yep.
And I look at it as like the Christian journey of like work, right? So they are working to get to Mordor. They go through all that trouble as, well, we're humans, but they're hobbits. And then they get to the point where they get to release that sin and they still can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Frodo can't do it on his own.
Mhm.
And that's me, that's all of us, where we can do all this work, but essentially it comes to God, you know, through his grace and love, allowing us to like release that addiction, that sin, you know, give it up to him. And yeah, I could get into so much with Lord of the Rings, but that is a really cool scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, even with like Sam helping him and then seeing that happen too, I almost see that as like someone you really care or love maybe turn away from Christ or never want to accept it too, where he's like, you're so close, you're right there, like why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
And yeah, but I'm glad that you got to do that and that you got that spark again for Lord of the Rings. For those of you who have not seen Lord of the Rings, I'm sorry for you.
I want to say something
Yes.
real quick. The end scene where Frodo can't stay in the Shire anymore. He there is something inside of him that's just so hurt. He can't be in the Shire anymore. He's almost like a liability to them. And he needs to move on and leave Middle Earth. That whole part is what will always make me tear up at the end, is when Frodo has to leave and they have to say bye to him. And I think part of it is exactly like it's exactly tied in to what you're saying about the scene where he can't truly give up the ring. There's something in his nature that can't truly exist in the Shire anymore. There's something fractured and broken about him, and he needs to go on from Middle Earth to be healed. Yeah. And that's us. Like that, I feel like that. Like, why do I feel out of place? Why do I feel like I'm I still have a sin nature? Why there's something in me that is unsatisfied where I'm at. It's because we're not really made for this world. We were made for a world before sin, but sin made the world into a place that we can't be truly satisfied with anymore. We were made, C.S. Lewis puts this perfectly. He says, if I find in myself a desire that cannot be satisfied by anything in this world, then it means that I was made for another world.
Yeah.
And so that part really sticks with me in the same way that the Mount Doom scene sticks with you. Like that part where they're saying goodbye to him really sticks with me, because that tells me what I need to know about this world, I think.
One more thing too that just came to mind, going back to Frodo and leaving Middle Earth to be with the elves.
Yep.
Essentially kind of like a heaven kind of thing. Back in the first movie, he gets stabbed by that Morgul blade by the Witch King, right? Yeah. And you see in the third movie when he's rubbing his shoulder where he got stabbed.
Yep.
And Sam asks him, like, how's your shoulder? He's like, it's been like 1 year to the day and it's still painful.
Okay. Yep.
And that reminds me that here on earth as humans and as Christians, we're going to have that pain and struggle. That's never going to be gone until we are united with Christ one day. And it's really encouraging though too, because we're going to have our struggles. We're going to have that pain. And that's another reason why Frodo left too, is like to help get healed, because he
I forgot.
He was never gonna
that part.
heal, I believe. But it's just like, dude, I could get so into it. I'm gonna stop myself there, but I just wanted to make that connection. I thought that was really cool. Like I always hear Pastor Jason say, we're never fully going to be, perfect or completely healed until we are with Christ in heaven.
Yeah.
Like we're always gonna have that struggle. Well, we're going to have certain struggles. We may have certain addictions, certain things that no matter how long we battle and pray about it, once we're with Christ, united with him in eternity, that's going to be forever healed and taken care of. So, but
I just wanted to report.
Yeah, dude, that
was awesome.
I'm getting hyped up
Christina,
now.
I'm so glad you watched it.
Loved those movies.
Really?
By the way,
See?
which she was pretty uncertain. She was like, yeah, they're pretty long. I might fall asleep. But we watched 12 hours straight of those, and
dude, you get so locked in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude. I was surprised. I was like, I'm probably, because a lot of the people that we were with fell asleep, and I know. And I was like, honestly, I might fall asleep. I don't know. This is like a long day, but I was like so locked in, and I'm like watching just how good of a quality of a movie it is, and I'm like, wow, we don't really have a whole lot of those.
What about
today.
Gandalf versus the Balrog?
Oh yes,
Dude, yeah, that's probably just the best.
It's the ultimate sacrifice.
It's so sick.
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass!
Like not just that, but like then into Two
Yeah.
Towers.
Oh
Like
my
the
gosh,
whole
dude.
the
Yeah.
whole
So
segment
good.
is just so
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, it's so cool when they're falling and he quickly grabs the sword. Yeah, I was like, I whispered to Christina because she had said something. She was like, "Oh wow, he died pretty fast." I was like, "Just wait."
She forgot because she's seen those movies before, hasn't she? I thought she said her dad
I don't know.
showed them.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe
she did
forgot.
see them, but
Or maybe it was The Hobbit.
I think
it's
everyone
like-
everyone
yes,
was kind of like,
Almost
The
like
Hobbit.
he sacrificed himself for others and then came back later.
Yeah.
Interesting. I kind of know a guy
Crazy.
like that.
I like that Tolkien is a little bit different than C.S. Lewis. Did you ever see The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Disney movie,
Yep.
or read the books? It's like Aslan sacrifices himself, and it's literally like a direct parallel to the gospel, which I like. I think that's also a great book. all of his books are amazing.
A little
Like,
creepy as a
sure.
kid when you're watching like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great
yeah, it was
movie.
terrifying scene.
but those books are great too. They also have their own lessons in them. But I also like how Tolkien is different than Lewis in that there's no true parallels. Like there's no step-by-step parallels in Lord of the Rings to the gospel, but
Right.
every part of it is like infused with lessons that are from the Bible. So you have like Frodo can't drop the ring into Mount Doom. You don't have like Gandalf come in and grab the ring and throw it in, right?
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
but there's still a lesson in there that's inspired by the Bible, which is the corruptness of human nature. So I don't know, just wanted to say that. I really like that about Tolkien, where it's like an infusion of the Bible instead of like a direct translation or parallel.
Yeah. We're definitely going to do a Lord of the Rings episode.
Yeah, it has
I
to
just
happen
like
at this point.
I just can't imagine not watching the extended edition too.
You have
There's
to.
so many. I
You
was
have
like,
to.
there were so many good scenes that were
Yes.
added with that. I was
100%.
Like,
I'm glad you got to rewatching those and
Yeah, dude.
getting that full experience.
Yeah. It would be a shame if I started watching them again.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, those were good. And I literally have not stopped thinking about them. I'm like, oh yeah, that was really good.
I literally, like, I tell Milo, he always says, like, men will typically always think about the Roman Empire.
Nope.
Like, the most. And I'm like,
don't know what
I
that
think
is.
about Lord of the Rings the most.
Correct.
That's like the number one thing I'll think about
Yeah.
when it comes to movies and media and stuff like that. It's just Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But that was,
For me, it's World War II, actually.
Well, currently, yeah. This guy.
Even when I was younger, I think I thought about World War II way more than the Roman Empire. But the meme is that like
Yeah.
women don't think about the Roman Empire at all, and they're surprised that men think about it like fairly frequently.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
funny.
fair.
Yeah, this is all just funny.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. That was some awesome conversation.
Certainly.
Hopefully you guys could take something away from that. But guys, thank you for watching. God bless you guys. And as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share. This is the Campfire Council Podcast. Tacos, baby.